So if you're running a trades business and you feel like you're constantly reactive, always on, never feeling like you're really getting ahead, that's not a hustle problem. That's a focus problem that you've got. G'day everyone, Rob, Kropp and Dan Stones here from Pravar Group, and welcome back to another episode of The Trade Den. Good to have you back, Dan. How are you?
Always good to be back. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, very well, thank you. I never ask how you're going. How are you going?
I'm doing well, mate. I'm really looking forward to today. It's productivity and prioritizational topics are always a favourite of mine, so I'm really looking forward to getting into it because it's a superpower. It's their superpower to be able to have these types of conversations, so looking forward to getting stuck into today.
Yeah, same here. I've got to be careful I don't go off on a rant here, but before we start getting into fixes, I want to really start with, let's get clear on what's actually going on. We live in a world that's specifically designed these days to steal your attention. Every app, every notification, every ping, every ding, every ad you see or hear, all of it is engineered to do nothing but pull you away from what you are doing and drag you into someone else's priorities. That's what it's for. And the productivity industry that's sprung up, the best answer to that is, how do we get you to do more? How do we get you to do things faster? What about another system? How about another app? And it just perpetually feeds it. And adding more tools to an already distracted mind doesn't fix the problem. It just creates an even busier version with the same chaos. It just multiplies the problem. It just adds to the deficit of attention. So the real shift isn't about doing more, and it's not about how to get more time. That's not what does it. It's about, like you said, protecting your attention so you can focus on the right things at the right time. And it's a critical shift in the way that we've been conditioned to operate, especially since, I'm old enough to say it, you can have a joke there if you want, but since the internet came around, it's gone to a whole nother level, and it really is wreaking havoc.
It is, and when we teach management skills and capability to our clients, self-organisation and self-management skills is the cornerstone to effective management. And if you can't manage yourself effectively, good luck trying to manage other people. And your ability to be aware of the productivity burners and your ability to manage your own focus and attention on the things that matter is the cornerstone to your success, your business's success, and your ability to manage people effectively. And that's why this topic is so important.
Yeah, I heard you say this at the start, and I want you to expand on this a little bit, but focus is like a leadership superpower. This idea of focus as a superpower. Talk a bit more about that.
As a leader, we've got a finite amount of time to be able to lead and grow our businesses. And right now we are getting bombarded with everything around us. We're going to talk about those productivity burners today. But the most effective leaders have the ability to have the internal resolve to know what they want, why they want it, where they're going, and what's important now. And they have the ability to block out the noise and focus on what matters the most. They're the most effective leaders. And someone can have the best idea, the best team or best whatever around them, but if the leader is not operating at their highest level of capability and performance, then that's going to set the tone for the business around them. And that's why this topic is important, and that's why I say it's a superpower for a leader, because if you can't manage your own focus and attention and your decisions in the time that you've got, then you're not going to be the most effective person that you can be.
Agreed. I think that there's a ruthless, I don't know what the word is, intentionality, but there's a ruthless intention to hold on to their focus. It's protected. You can see them physically protect it. And for me, I think the thing that I notice the most, they haven't got that sort of idea of FOMO. They're not trying to be on top of everything. There's things that people the great leaders they just don't know. It's not part of their world. It doesn't come into it, because if it did, it would take away their ability to run their business well. It'd take away their ability to lead. So I think that's an initial marker, is that attention goes to where I want it to go, not where I'm being dragged to.
It is, and those people get labelled as ruthless. They get labelled as being insensitive. They're labelled as being abrasive in their approach. It's not that they're necessarily those things. They just know what's important and they eliminate the noise. And that sometimes comes across as abrasive or
uncaring,
don't care or whatever it is, but they just know I've got 40 to 50 hours in my week to make the most amount of impact in the time that I've got. They're just relentless and ruthless, like you said. They're ruthlessly intentional with the time they've got. And unfortunately, people just get labelled wrongly in that approach. And I look at our clients that move the fastest, they are ruthless. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's because they're super intentional around what they get done on a day-to-day basis.
And they treat those, you said in those 40, 45 hours, whatever it is, but they treat that like it's an asset to get a return on. There's a real structure to that. Those focus hours are important, and they're treated like an asset that they're investing into, because that's exactly what it is at the end of the day.
Correct. And I used to love that Mitre 10 ad. It was like, get in, get on with it, get it done, and get the hell out of there. And when we teach this to clients, that I often refer to that Mitre 10 ad, because if you have that mindset where you get in on a week-to-week basis, you get it done, you get on with it, get it done, and get the hell out of there, and get on with living and spending time with your family, enjoying your life, then that's the difference between someone who works 45 hours versus someone who works 80 hours. They probably still get the same amount done. It's just that other person working 80 hours, they're just fluffing about, just wasting, burning time on things that have zero relevance, because they're not being ruthlessly intentional with the time that they've got.
Yeah, and no one's going to stop. Even if you say, hey, could you please stop? If you have it before, how many times have you done it? You go, stop contacting me if you get a spam message. You still get it. It doesn't stop. It's just replaced with something else. It always happens. So it's not that these distractions are annoying. They come at a real cost. There's a real cost around money. There's all kinds of stuff, momentum, growth, whatever you want to call it. The cost that you're giving up by allowing yourself to be distracted is real.
Correct. Time's a big cost. You're right. These all come at a cost. It's just that most people don't sit down and calculate the cost that these things cost them.
So let's take a look at what we call in Pravar productivity burners. We've got 4 key ones that we know are almost like pulling the roots out, the weed out at the root level. But as we go through these, see if any of these sound familiar to you, and just check off where you're at with these, and we'll come back and have a bit of a chat about it. The first one is the phone. If it's always within arm's reach, you break out into a cold sweat when you don't know where it is, that sort of thing. The phone is a massive one. What about inbox? Emails. Inbox and emails. You're in and out of email constantly. The amount of time you're in there checking, is anything new in there? It's not even that you want there to be something new. It's just that you go in and check it. That's enough. So and then the worst thing is if you react to those messages as soon as they come in. That's a big productivity burner. Oh boy. Social media. We've got to talk about it. It's a huge one. Pulls you in without warning. It's one of the most attention captured, engineered systems that's ever been invented. And a quick scroll turns into 20 minutes, turns into 40 minutes, turns into where the hell am I? I missed everything because I was stuck in social media land. It's a huge one. So one we need to talk about. And the last one probably sneaks up a little bit, but your workspace. Where do you actually work and what's around you? Have you got a heap of distractions around you, or is it focused? Does it reflect a focused mind, or does it reflect a mind that's easily distracted? Notice I could say cluttered or disorganized, but I'm using that mindfully. But anything that makes it harder for you to think clearly or focused, that's what we mean. So have a think about that. And if you're nodding furiously to all 4 of those, then the rest of this episode is going to be for you. I'm laughing because I can see Rob's nodding his head at the minute. Let's have a chat about it. What lit up for you?
For me, it's phone and social media.
Right.
That's my kryptonite.
Yep.
You?
I'd probably be inbox is not too bad. Social media, I've worked hard. I'd say workspace. I'm someone who has a lot of projects on the go and bits and pieces around me and to pick it up and get drawn into a project, it's better than social media, I feel, but it's still a productivity burner because now I'm distracted from maybe other stuff. So that happens a lot with me. All right, that's our confession. We'll do it. We'll do a productivity burners anonymous episode at a later date. Let's turn the corner. You know where you're at, but let's talk about the simple steps to get you back on track. And I think the good news is that this doesn't need to be complicated. Even those things, there are things you can do to reduce, not do more, but do less. And I think that's the overriding thing as we talk through this. But you've got to make some decisions. And the first thing is do not disturb. Use it like it's a tool, not when you're at the end of your rope, when all the time's done, when you're up against it, backs against the wall. Listen, don't talk to me now. I've really got to get this done. Go on the basis of using do not disturb as if it's a mode you can operate in. It's like a phone has a do not disturb mode. You turn that on and everything sort of quietens down. You can do that in your own world and the way you operate.
Yeah, this first one connects back to the phone. And I think that in business, this is why a lot of business owners spend a lot of time at night time quoting, invoicing, setting up the next day after they've put the kids to bed. Because you ask them, why do you do that? It's like, oh, it's the only time that I get a chance when my phone is not ringing off the hook. And so instead of thinking, then that's just a way around it. You've just created working at nighttime because you haven't fixed the root cause of the problem. And so let's go to the root cause of the problem. The root cause is that your phone's ringing off the hook. And so this do not disturb function is your ability to, if you've got an admin person, forward your mobile phone to them. Let your leading hand know on site. It's like, hey mate, I'm going to be offline for the next hour or two. I need to get some quotes done. Or physically turning your phone on do not disturb so no one can ring you. So it's your ability to shut out the outside world so that you take control back of that hour or two to be able to get some important things done that matter. So do not disturb shows up in a number of ways through call forwarding, advising leading hands, or the actual physical function of DND on your phone.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is part of that I want to add on. It's really important is turning off your non-essential notifications. And the problem with it on your phone, again, is that all notifications are the same. It dings the same. It pops up on your phone the same. It lights up. It grabs your attention. But do you really need to know it's going to rain in 20 minutes for 30 minutes? Like, who cares? Like, it's not a big deal, yet your phone's probably sitting there dinging away, letting you know about all kinds of different stuff. You can buy this. You can have that. It's not essential. And not just that do not disturb time. Let that be your do not disturb time, but all the time. Turn that shit off. You don't need it and it's not helping you. And if something's really urgent that you need to know about, you tend to find out. I see that a lot. Other people are running around doing all that for you and they'll come and tell you if they think it's urgent enough that you need to know.
Yeah, these ones are turning off notifications of email. It's turning off notifications of social media, turning off notifications of all the WhatsApp groups that you're a part of, with its friends or family and all those types of things. And I know Jackie laughs at me. She's like, "Oh, did you see the chat in the family message around what's going on in such and such time?" I'm like, "Nope, that's muted." And so I've had to get very good over a period of time to mute those conversations. It's not that I don't care. I just don't need that just pinging on my phone all the time, because you've got to remember these phone companies and social media companies and apps, they spend $1 bazillion a year. They're in the game of getting your attention. And that's what they do. They spend so much money on research and development to get your attention, to keep you inside of their apps. And I'm sure you've been in that position where your phone's been over on the bench 2 or 3 meters away. There's been a little ding on your phone. You haven't heard it, but you've seen something flash. And you're like, oh, someone just messaged me. Let's go and check out that. That's what we mean of the power of intentionally turning those notifications off. Because every time that you go and check your phone or check your email, check your message, or whatever it is, it's distracting you from doing the things that matter during that time.
Another part of this that's really important is setting clear boundaries about it. This doesn't mean be unresponsive. It's not that at all. And this is the difference, I think, when people get accused you're uncaring, you don't want to know, you're rude, whatever it might be. It's not that, but you've got to have clear boundaries. You still need to pay attention, but you pay attention when you want to is the difference. And I think setting clear boundaries around, well, with your team, for instance, I will be responding to emails. I've got a rhythm in my day where I respond mid-morning, mid-afternoon, or whatever it is for you. But having boundaries that you can communicate around response times goes a long way to letting everyone still feel safe, like you just haven't gone MIA and you've just thrown your phone in a river. And that is important.
It is. You've got to communicate to your people around you. And maybe you're at that phase where you don't have an admin or a bookkeeper you can't forward your phone onto. But I'm sure you've got a senior tradie on boots on the ground. It's like, hey mate, I'm going offline for the next 2 hours. And you set those boundaries and you communicate. It's boundaries with your team. It's boundaries with your family. It's boundaries with your customers. It's like every time you answer the phone call from a customer at 8 o'clock at night, guess what you're training them to do? Ring you at 8 o'clock every time. And so I had to learn this the hard way. And it wasn't until it's like, well, after a certain time, I do not respond to messages, that people start to then realize, well, if I message outside of hours, Rob's not going to answer, or I've just trained people where they just don't message me after hours. And so it's boundaries are key. You've got to fiercely protect your time. You've got to know what your priorities are, then you've got to fiercely protect it like your life depends on it.
And part of that protection, as we said, it's not just the notifications. There's a setup even before this where you can help yourself out to win. And this is sort of step 2, but eliminate those distractions before you start. Anticipate a little bit. Know what's happening. It's amazing when we tell people this, how a light bulb goes off. But the idea of being able to say, hey, I know what's important to me. I'm now going to set myself up before that so that I don't get distracted. It might be letting everyone know, hey, I'm going into a meeting. Hey, I'm not going to be around for the next hour. Hey, I'm going offline, talk to so-and-so instead. That's setting yourself up that you eliminate the distractions before they start. And you can do this. This is a really easy step, and it's really, really powerful when people grasp onto the fact that it works.
It does, and it's a retraining of people around you, and it's a retraining of boundaries, and it's like we've used this word a lot in this episode. It's being intentional. That's what this is all about. It's being intentional with your time. You've got all the time you need, but time's finite, and you've got to make sure that you're the most productive as you can be in the time that you've got, and that's where being intentional matters during this process.
Yeah, and if you're thinking it's just people about that, it goes for still the same thing: systems, apps, phones. Put your phone in a drawer, put your phone in another room, give it to someone else to answer it if you've got an admin. Inbox, close down some apps. I'm going to laugh here because close your browser down with 300 tabs open.
What? What are you talking about?
But you close those attention-grabbing things out of the way so you're not distracted. I should do it with my desk where I've got projects half going on everywhere. Like, set yourself up to win before you start. It actually does a hell of a lot to give you so much more productivity and focus. Step 3, big one. Change your relationship with social media. And we've got to be honest about this. This is the same thing. We talk about relationships with certain things that are really important. Rob, we've talked about the relationship to challenge. We've talked about the relationship to alcohol, the relationship with time. It's a really considered relationship with those things because they're so important. And I think social media has gone the same way. You've got to have a personal decision or a relationship with it that helps you, not hurts you.
You do. Social media is one of those things where it can become a very black hole of time over very, very quickly. And we call it doom scrolling. Like, how often have you open up Instagram and then you look back and go, shit, where'd that last half an hour or an hour go? Is because you just caught in doom scrolling. And I know when I get caught in this, it's when I'm tired or stressed or worn out, or I'm just trying to block out the outside world, and I just get caught in that deep, dark hole that is the social media world. And it's a fake world. There's fake shit all over social media, and it's not good for our headspace. And when you're in a negative headspace, it sometimes makes it more negative headspace because of all the shit you read and look at and all those types of things. So social media has absolutely got its benefits. It's a way to stay connected. It's a way to connect with people and communicate and live our lives through social media so we can stay connected with the people that matter. We run our businesses through social media and showcase the work that we do and everything. But the downside is it's a deep, dark hole that can be very dangerous. And so I think we've just got to have awareness around our relationship with social media. And a lot of guys go, oh, I don't have time. And it's like, all right, well, open up your social media and your time and see how much time you spent on social media last week. And it makes people realize they've got more time than they realize.
It does. It costs a lot of time. I think for me, the other thing that it costs is energy, like your emotional energy, as you said. There's definitely one of the biggest attention hooks that we know for a human brain is danger. It will latch onto that, or a question that's mind-boggling. And even those stupid posts you see, like what's 6 + 7, and they're trying to teach you prep maths and can you do it? The amount of people that answer that stuff and how long did they think about it? But it's a real symptom that you've got to watch for, because it will drain your energy. The cost of your energy in terms of negative headspace, if you go into that side, and you will get it because that's the thing they know will hook you. So you've got to really watch it. That's why that relationship's got to be a healthy one, not an unhealthy one. And things like, am I spending my time because it's helping me or hurting me? Is it generating things in terms, if it's in business hours, is it generating business and helping me achieve my goals? Or is it moving me further away? That's how you can start to get that relationship dialed in with social media. There's probably a couple more tips as well. Things like, I think deleting apps from your phone using desktops, that's another one that everyone knows about. There's devices you can get now that block your access to it, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, those things just help. And we see this a lot with clients. Like every quarter we get our clients to work on making an improvement in their life. And it's a habit change. It creates the personal transformation within our clients. And we see it so much where guys are changing a relationship with their alcohol, or training more, or spending more time with their family, and all those types of things. But social media use is a big one. So those tips that you just said before around deleting apps and putting limits on things and using devices to block them, they're the common habits that our clients use all the time with great success, because what they're trying to do is eliminate the shit that does not serve them, so they've got the space to focus on the things that matter.
Yeah, and in the early days, it could be that limit one's a huge one. I remember when I was doing this to start with, and setting a time limit. Every app's got a time limit thing in there. You've got to dive deep to find it because they don't want you to do it. But you will find a time limit, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. Set a daily limit. And it's not the fact that it turns off and blows up the app and you can't use it for the day, but it gives you that question. Time's nearly up. Are you going to do this or not? And it gives you a chance to be conscious about your decision and make a conscious decision whether or not you're allowing your attention to go there. So I really advise everyone to really dig in and find those time limits and just see. The other thing is amazing how quick the time goes, right? You said it yourself. How long before 10 minutes becomes 20, becomes 40? You set the time limit and all of a sudden it's like, shit, that's saying 15 minutes. Was I really on for that long? So it's a really good one, the time limits that are built in, even though they're pretty hard to find.
Now, the last one we've got is personal space. Now, this can come down to your working environment, and it also can come down to your home environment as well. And now, if you're in that phase where you still work from home, like we work as a fully remote business, and so I know environment's super key for me, but this is work environment as well. Work environment is that situation where back in the early 2000s, like the big thing in the HR world was open workplaces, but that is noisy and there's people talking. You're there as the owner listening out to another person in the office, and you're like, hang on a second, you shouldn't be saying that or doing that. So your environment at work is super important to be able to be nice and split up office space for separation for you and your team around you is super important. I know for me, from working from home, decluttering is huge for me, and one of my quirks every week is I make sure that even though we've got a cleaner, I still make sure that this place is spotless. Every night, all the dishes are done. Every week, all the washing is done and folded and put away. And every week, the house is tidied and there's kids' toys put away. And we got 3 young kids, but I know that this is an environment that I work from and live from. And some people might say that that's a clean freak in me, which I am a bit of a clean freak, but it's more that I'm a anti-clutter. I'm an anti-clutter guy. And being able to have a nice, clean environment to work from is super critical, because your environment dictates your headspace. And so for me, having a great environment to live in and work in does a lot for my space, as my headspace in particular as a leader. So I want to really challenge that put that challenge out to you as a bit of a bonus one to be able to really think about the environment that you live in and work in, to be able to make sure that that contributes to your superpower as a leader to ensure that your environment is setting you up for success in the long term.
Yeah, I love that. That feels different when you do it that way, as opposed to going, I'm a clean freak or whatever it is, just the normal standard way that people react to that. This is a deliberate decision that's helping you focus, that's building your superpower. Without it, you'd be a mess. So you need to have that, but there's a real reason behind it, and it becomes intentional. Like you said, the intention is absolutely clear when you explain it that way.
Jackie hangs shit on me, my wife Jackie, because she's like, Rob, these are just some of your quirks, but these are some of my quirks, but I'm genuinely doing it to clean my headspace, clean the clutter, to clear my headspace, to be a better leader. Like the little things like washing the dishes so it's all clean benches at night time, the washing of the clothes and everything. Like these are all the little quirks that I've got, but there's a reason behind it, because I want to make sure that I'm operating at the top of my game as a leader. And I know that my environment around me is so important to be able to ensure that I can play at the top of my game.
Nice. I think we're up to step 5 now because you threw a bonus one in there. But let's go with this last one that we want to talk about, and that is the role of planning in all of this. We talked a little bit about setting yourself up before you jump into your focus hours and all that sort of thing. But planning really is the setting of your intentions. It really is where it all comes together. If you're really serious about this, you have to give some credit or some focus into the planning process as you set your intentions about what you're going to focus on.
You do, and we won't go into too much detail on this episode, because there's some great episodes that we've covered this off to be able to go into more detail. But episode 100, we spoke around Monday morning, the momentum, and your ability to round out last week and set up your new week for success. What that does is get your focus and your attentions on and prioritize the things that matter during your week. So if you haven't listened to episode number 100, make sure you go back and listen to that, because that'll help you with your planning for the week ahead. And then all the way back to episode 12 around wit and win. What's important today? What's important now? When you combine Monday morning momentum, what's important today, what's important now, that layering of those powerful questions, what they do is they help you focus on the things that matter. So being aware of and eliminating productivity burners is one side of the equation, but the big way of ensuring that you're being intentional with your time is your ability to put your focus in the right area, on the areas that matter, and you use little strategies like Monday morning momentum, what's important today, what's important now, to really help you focus down on the things that matter in a world full of distractions around you.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that episode 12 might be that might be a rough listen going all the way back to there. You pulled that one way out of the archives, but I love it. It's true. It is absolutely true. Planning's not about just the organization. It's protecting your attention, having something to protect before someone comes along and just throws something else on the table. So it's really, really important. All right, we ready for a challenge?
Let's do it.
All right. So from today's episode, the challenge is we want you to pick one, there's that word, one thing at a time over time, but pick one productivity burner that we've outlined. It could be your phone, it could be email, it could be social media, it could be your physical environment where you do your work. And do one thing to eliminate that or reduce that productivity burn for this week. Just one boundary that you're going to set, one change you're going to make. And that one decision, you'll see, will put you back in control of your attention. Now, even if it wanes or it drops, the fact that you've done it once, it's like doing reps in a gym. You go and you do it once. It's like, that was cool. Doesn't do much. But if you do it over and over again, you get better at protecting your focus. And you'll be amazed at how much you can get done with a focused hour as opposed to bits of focus throughout the day. And you'll be amazed at how different you feel energy-wise. You will feel charged. You'll be doing focused work, and instead of coming out of it absolutely busted and drained, you'll come out of it feeling energized and giving yourself a pat on the back and with some momentum about, that was cool, we got that done. Where do we go next? What's important now? There's that question. And you move on to the next important thing, and you almost get hooked in terms of giving your attention to what's important rather than what's urgent.
What a great challenge. So if you're running a trades business and you feel like you're constantly reactive, always on, never feeling like you're really getting ahead, that's not a hustle problem. That's a focus problem that you've got. And that's why this episode has been so important. If this has resonated with you, head across to strategysession.com.au, fill out the form and book in a time that suits so we can talk a bit about how we can help you plan to be able to succeed going forward, and so that we can work on eliminating some of these productivity burners that we've spoken around in today's episode. Because the business that you want, the one that runs without you having to be across absolutely everything all the time, starts with learning how to lead your own focus first. What a great episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and looking forward to coming back to you soon with another episode here on The Trade Den. Until then, take care.
Catch you soon.